Welcome back, learners. Now, in today's session, we'll be discussing about how to go for generating a histogram. So, in the previous sessions, we had discussed about the various charts and graphs which could be generated. We had seen so many charts, like we started with pie chart, we had seen bar chart, how to generate it, then box plot, scatter plot, and so many stuffs. Fine. So now we'll be moving on to the next kind of graph which could be generated. So you would have heard of this term histogram. So what is this histogram? So histogram is a graph which will give you the frequency of your values. So what is this frequency of values? Now if suppose I say I have some values in my vector. So a numeric vector I am going to create and I have some set of values and I want to just get to know what is the range of values and how frequent those values are in that particular vector. So that we call it as histogram. So that could be visualized using this histogram. Now let's see an example so you will get to know what is actually this histogram is about. So now let's first create one vector. Now suppose I say the vector is x. Now I say I am going to create a vector and I say the vector is some 23, 3, 3, then 4, then I say some 12, then 34 and I have 1, 4, 2, 4 or 3 whatever it is. So now I am giving this values, right. So I have created a vector, some random vector I have created. Now let's try to go for displaying this histogram. So you have one function which is called as hist and you can give this vector whichever you created, just simply this vector. So this vector is the mandatory argument in this hist function. Fine. Yes. Now let's see whether we are getting the hist value. See here we have got this histogram. Fine. So we have got a histogram here. Now it says from 0 to 5 range there are 7 value frequency. The frequency is 7. So let us see whether it is right or wrong. So now we'll move on to our console. See 1 0 to 5 it was, right. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So 7 is the frequency. Fine. So that is what it showed in the histogram. Now let's see the other one. So you had something now called as 10 to 15 and it says 1. So let us see where 10 to 15 is. So you can see here 10 to 15 only 12 is there. Fine. So this is how a histogram will be generated. Now I said like histogram, here this is your mandatory argument. Now let's see the other argument which is going to be the optional arguments. Now let's see that. So for checking out, now I am going to go for a side by side view and show you how it is displaying. Fine. Yes. Now let me go for displaying it. So I say the graphics part. So now I am going to minimize this. See, now we have both these side by side. Okay, fine. So I have reduced it. Now I have this histogram and it is done. Now, so you have this range. Now first thing, I am not happy with this color. So what I can do, I want to give some color to this. So I say hist of x is my vector and for color the attribute it is COL. So we have seen this attribute in the previous bar charts as well. So the same thing. Now I say within double quotes yellow. So now see, now the color has changed. Now suppose I want to give a border for this. Now by default the border color for this particular histogram is a black color. So now if suppose I want to change that, yes, you can very well change. I can say border is equal to, now if suppose I say I want it to be blue. Fine. Yes. Now see, it is converted into blue. The border is now blue, it is not black. Okay. So these are the other two attributes which could be used. Apart from this, now you see there is a default title histogram of x. Suppose I don't like it. So in that case what I can do, I can go for including another attribute which I say main. So this attribute also we had seen in the previous bar graphs and stuffs where you can give the title of your graph. Suppose I want to say histogram of some rainfall distribution or whatever it is. Fine, you can give the title here. So I had gone for a spelling mistake, so I've changed it. Now again this within double quotes. Now see, it has changed. So histogram of rainfall. Now it has converted. Now what are the other stuffs? Now I have some x-axis label. So this I call it as x-axis label. It is by default having x. Suppose I don't want that. I want to have some x label. So what I can include, I have one more attribute which I say x lab, and I can say some values of rainfall or something. Fine, you can give it. And now I see here, you can see that it is displaying values of rainfall in your x-axis. Similarly, you can go for giving the y-axis label also. So what is the attribute? I say y lab is equal to, I can say the frequency of rainfall. Okay, yes. So now see, it has changed. So what else is possible? So apart from this, you can also fix the limit. Now here by default it is 35. Yes, you can also fix the limit. You can say with x limit is equal to, and you can give a vector. You can say starting from 0, I want to end to 40. Yes. Oh God, it is giving you some error. So what is this error? Let me check out. So what is this error? So the error here is, fine. So in the x limit, I had given c of 0 to 40. So this is the mistake. So it has to be 0 comma 40. Fine. Now see here. Now here your histogram. Now the limit in x axis, we had made it 0 to 40. So it has changed. Initially it was 35, right? Yes. So now if you want, even you can go for giving the limit for your y axis. Now here it is something from 0 to 7. Suppose I want it to be some 0 to 10, you can make it 0 to 10. See, it has converted. Fine. So these are the attributes. So what were the attributes? So the first one, by mandatory you should have one vector. Yes. So that vector is mandatory attribute which is required for a histogram. So if you just have some vector value with some frequency distributions, you will get the histogram as output. After that, if you want to still make it further better in visualization, you can include all these attributes. One was the color, which was for the histogram bar. The other one was for the border, giving a color for the border of the histogram. Then the title of your chart. Then the labels for x and y axis. Also the limits for x and y axis. Fine. So these are the few attributes which could be used in your histogram function. Okay. Fine. So with this we come to the end of the charts and graph session. So we had discussed about various charts and graphs in the previous session also. So with this we come to the end of the charts and graphs. If you still have any doubts in this, you can very well contact me. Thank you.